Good morning, everybody. I apologize for the late. Um, Even though it's 9 in the morning, it is practically dark out here in New Jersey. It's very, very gray. I also apologize if anybody tuned in last night. I had to cancel for some reason at like 5 o'clock last night. I thought they were in my complex, but maybe they weren't in my apartment complex. I had neighbors who decided, hey, it's like 5:05 on New Year's Eve. Let's set off some fireworks. And the doggo, yeah, he's not down with that. He was terrified, and I spent a good portion of the night in my bathroom. And then when the fireworks stopped, I got him to come out of the bathroom, but then he was on the bed and he was literally shaking the bed. It was like the magic fingers because he was just absolutely terrified. And then it all started again. Then my town did more fireworks at 11, and then other neighbors, actually the neighbors directly behind my apartment in one of the houses, set off what I can only describe as professional grade fireworks at midnight. And they were so loud that we went through the whole process again. So that is why I couldn't do what I wanted to do yesterday. And before we get to anything else, I just have to say Betty White died. I guess I don't know if she died Thursday night or Friday morning or like how they're, slicing it up, but Betty White died. And I feel like I feel like our cool, super funny, a little bit irreverent grandmom, our country's grandmom, like passed. And it's just so sad. I loved Betty White, but onward and upward, guys. Got my coffee, still in the bathrobe. Yeah, we'll talk about my hair long enough to piss off people that don't like it when I talk about my hair. It's really humid out today in New Jersey, as humid as in it's pouring rain. It's not pouring. I shouldn't say that. It's like that rain that's kind of hanging out. Like you don't actually feel it drop. It's just the air, right? Um, and it's just cold enough that you're cold, but too warm for it to turn into snow, which would be beautiful, right? So this is basically New Jersey in the winter. I mean, New Jersey has two seasons: hot box and gray, dreary winter. We have a tiny bit of fall that's absolutely beautiful and a little bit of spring that's absolutely gorgeous. But that's it. It's not a great weather state. We are a swamp. I mean, technically we're a peninsula of New York, but people never talk about that. But we are a swamp. I mean, God bless New Jersey. We have the Pine Barrens, which are a specific ecosystem that does not exist anywhere except in New Jersey, apparently, or I think it exists in some other places like Delaware or whatever, but it's very specific to New Jersey. So without further ado, I have the box over here. I did take the big box, which was actually too big for the patterns, but I think like she probably did what I do all the time, which is just grab a box that will fit the patterns. And if that's a little big, that's better than trying to squeeze them into a smaller box. I put them in a smaller box so that I could get them in the room. And we're going to start with the pattern I already talked about, the large format Vogue, which I believe this is the only one. I did not see any other ones. Let me see. I want to get this close enough so you guys can see it, but not out of angle so you can't see it. Now, here are the back line drawings. Okay, if you've ever heard me say coat dress and you're like, what the hell is a coat dress? Like, because you don't, you're not old like me. This is technically a coat dress. It looks like a coat, but you can't take it off because you have nothing on underneath, right? So this may be the oldest pattern I have in here. Very apropos. The patterns in here, not one of them is vintage. And when I say vintage, I mean anything that was made 2001 or earlier. So yeah, I'm still not sitting well with that whole thing. I'm looking for the date. And of course, Vogue is going to be very coy and not give me a date on this. It does have a www, so this is 2011. So this isn't the oldest pattern. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, very cute. McCall's. Very cute. Feels factory folded. When I was moving these, when I was moving these patterns around, I only saw like 3 pattern envelopes that were like kind of double stuffed, right? Meaning that the pattern may have been folded and unfolded. Oh, this is really cute. None of these patterns, I think, are in my size. When I asked about her online, actually, I'm wrong. This goes to XXL, so this is my size. When I asked her online, she said they were all between like 10s and 14s, and she said there were a couple, there may have been 1 or 2 16s. So none of these are really my size, but oh, very cute. Oh, yay. See, this is what sucks. These are not my size, but there's a Gertie. It's a vintage Gertie. Well, you know what I mean. It's not a vintage Gertie. It's a Gertie pattern that looks like a vintage garment, and it's factory color. Yay. Sorry. Ooh, pretty. Very fancy. Don't like the cold shoulder, though. You know, you can tell I'm not a lady, a modern lady, because I don't like a cold shoulder and I don't like that high-low hem. I always feel like the high-low hem, like you couldn't figure out how to do the hem on your skirt, so you just gave up and made the front part higher than the back part. Just never really appealed to me, but you know, I am an old woman. Also really cute. This is the jacket, by the way, and only the jacket. I'll show you the line drawings. The shirt, all the other stuff isn't included, so. Gosh, lots of jackets. This woman didn't give me too much explanation, just that this was a D-stash. And I asked her how many patterns it was, and she originally said 28. Then she said, oh no, I just counted for you. It's 43. And I think only 2 of them I ever used. So this is obviously a personal collection. Why she has such a size range, I'm not really sure. Oh, by the way, here we go. Here's Berta. Berta does go up to my size. The great thing about Berta is they either do a size 6 through a 20 or they do a size 10 through a 24. So they have every size in the envelope, which is kind of nice. Oh, gee, this is not okay. I'm going to offend all the cottagecore girls, but I don't like this. One of the reasons I don't like cottagecore, I think, is I have never been the kind of woman who wants to dress someone like a small child, if that makes any sense. Like I don't like clothes that could also be worn by a 5-year-old. And I know that's going to offend a lot of cottagecore ladies because you're like, you know, but let's face it, a lot of the cottagecore stuff that you see could also be worn by a Disney character, right? Or could be worn by a 5-year-old. And I really want to look like a woman. I mean, I don't want to look like an old woman, but I've been working on that. I want to be a woman of a certain age, as I've said previously. And I'm not looking at the dates on these, but I can tell. Very apropos. These are all from the 2000s. None of these look like they could be from the 90s. It's interesting because normally, right, I'm trying to do vintage patterns on my site, on my Etsy shop. But I now have so many patterns. Okay, this is embarrassing. I now have so many patterns that when I was at Goodwill on Tuesday, and I told you there wasn't really a lot, but I showed you guys a couple of things I got. There was a chest of drawers that very unfortunately someone had painted like an electric blue. But I can tell by the lines that it's a mid-century modern dresser. It's very possible that it's Formica and that's where they painted it. Who knows? But it was a really good sized dresser. It was really big. And you know, it's a Goodwill. They want $25 for it, right? So I'm like, okay. So of course I wasn't smart enough to buy it on Tuesday when I would have gotten a huge discount on it. Speaking of discounts, I got a text today. If you're a Goodwill shopper and you signed up, you should be getting a text today for 20% off any purchases today, January 1st. So I'm going to go out after this. But yeah, I didn't have the presence of mind to decide to buy the dresser until Thursday. Okay, this is just a wrap skirt. This is a very weird wrap skirt, though. Look at the line drawings here. Look at the line drawings. Isn't that strange? Okay. Anyway. So I went back Thursday with my sister, got this dresser, filled it with patterns. And actually, I got to be honest, by the way, a lot of Cynthia Raleigh. This is the second Cynthia Raleigh. That dresser is going to be a godsend because I can now actually see the floor in my sewing / pattern room. or office or shop space. I don't know what you want to call it. I really miss sewing, and I'm going to go back to it. In fact, I finally took the time to finish that skirt, and I kind of, wait a minute, I could be wrong. This pattern looks like it could be from the 90s. I finished that skirt, and I broke my cardinal rule, which is I hurried through. And so I didn't do a great job with the waistband, and it's okay. It's not horrible. It's just, when you look at the waistband, it goes up a little on this side. It doesn't actually meet, which is fine. I can live with it. I'll wear it under something untucked. But I miss shopping. I miss sewing. So I need to prioritize my time more so that I can do some more sewing. This is cute. This is, I can't find the date on this. I'm sure it's on here. It's just probably so small I can't see it. But do y'all remember when we were doing this? We were doing kind of the dressy blazer over the cami. So I'm going to say early 2000s, 2003-ish. 2005-ish, Oh boy. This is probably size for stretch knits. I'll have to look at it, but doesn't say. But here's the funny thing. Look. So this is a modern pattern. Look what's on the bottom. Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. Even YouTube's on there, right? So obviously a modern pattern. Okay. Oh, this is cute. Shame this isn't going to fit me. No, it only goes to a 14. Look at the dress on the end. That I like. It's what we would call, this is what it's called, a secretary's dress. It's a one-piece dress. I guess it was worn by secretaries. I always see them referred to as secretary dresses. This is interesting. There's prices on these that say $1. So she may have been like a person like me. This feels lumpy. Let's see if this is cute. This might be. Oh, actually, I bet it did. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Part of it's cut, right? And then they circled D. So I guess they only made skirt D. That's not bad. Partially cut works for me. I can still sell partially cut, trust me. Oh, another Berta. This is another Berta, and it's for the hoodie and the skirt. See, and this one, look, this one only, so I was wrong. It's 6 to 18, not 6 to 20. Ugh, what is this? This is another thing I don't love. I love a peasant blouse, but I don't like a tiered skirt. And if you put a peasant blouse with a tiered skirt, I expect you to stomp on grapes with your feet, with your bare feet. Seriously, that's when I look at those. Oh, this is actually cute. I shouldn't say actually, they're all cute. I mean, people get paid a lot of money to design these patterns based on what's in the market from designers. But if you're following along at home, it has a very mid-2000s feel, doesn't it? It's very, very mid-2000s. Oh, here we go. More of this. I'll probably sell this. I'll probably sell this right away, right? But I don't love off-leisure. Don't love off-leisure, man. This is kind of cute. And this is also not my size. Okay. I like the one at the bottom. It's pretty cute. But it only goes up to medium. Well, that's okay. There's the line drawings. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if the angles are off, because once I put this in front of me, then I can't see what I'm looking at. So a bomber jacket. But I'm trying to make sure you guys can see the line drawings, because that's the thing that always interests me when I'm looking at patterns, is to really get a good look at the line drawings. This next pattern, I'm going to be honest, it was right on top, and it felt like it was factory folded, and it's the only boy pattern that I kind of saw when I was moving things around. But it felt like it had been cut, and lo and behold, there's the note inside. I took a look at it. It was cut to the smallest size for men. The boys portion is uncut. I ended up putting it up on my Etsy store. After I took a picture of it, I counted out the pieces and I put it up on my Etsy store ahead of time. I mean, it's just basically a vest for men or boys in kind of two styles, like a more like what's it called? Like a puffer style, and then just kind of a more like straight style. You can see on the back. But the boys portion is completely uncut, so I put it up on Etsy as a partially cut pattern. We'll see what happens. The Chanel jacket. Doesn't everybody want a Chanel jacket? Again, doesn't this feels like a very like mid 2000s kind of pattern, like a 2005 kind of pattern. We're all watching Sex and the City. Let's see what year. Oh, I'm wrong. 2017. It's pretty recent. Oh, another Gertie. I'm so happy that I'm getting these Gerties, except that none of them are my size. Let me see, what's this one go up to? This goes up to a 14. So if you're a Gertie fan like I am, I have all the books. I'm too chicken shit to cut out the patterns and actually try one of her patterns, but I look at them all the time with this feeling that I want to try one of her patterns. This is one of her more basic ones. This is actually, I wish if this was in my size, I would keep it, because this is a really great basic pattern. You can always slim down this skirt. Look at the lines on the back. It's got the seaming, the darts in the front. It's a perfect pattern for like kind of a universal block pattern. Oh, look. It's a high-low hem, my favorite. Yeah. I'm really hoping that two things will go out of style this year. The high-low hem and the cold shoulder. The cold shoulder to me, I never get either. It's kind of like, oh, I forgot to sew this part of my blouse. Like, I guess it's supposed to be like, here's the thing. I see it a lot on plus size clothing, as if you're going to say, hey, let's get sexy. Let's show some shoulder, but we're going to hide everything else because you should be ashamed of your arms. Like, that's, I guess, why I don't like them so much. But so this is cute. These are just the shirts, by the way. It's a shame because that skirt's, look how cute that little skirt is, but that is not part of it. Oh no, I see. It is. This is the jacket open. She's got her hands in the pocket. Okay, I stand corrected. Oh, and it's just more off leisure. Here we go. Just like, you know, this is all sized for stretch knits, right? Trying to see if it says anything on it. No, it doesn't. Let's see. Oh, size for stretch knits. I'm right. It is size for stretch knits. Okay. Well, this is pretty. It's a pretty dress. Also not my size, but very pretty. Again, nice, really basic pattern. Like, I'm looking at the line drawings, and if you look at the line drawings, this is just a really basic dress pattern, except that it lacks in the front. It has a yoke. This is a yoke here instead of having darts, but this is very pretty. And the yoke kind of does the same things that the darts would do. It holds you in up top, right? It kind of locks you in the bodice, and then allows the skirt to flow out. So you're locked and loaded in the bodice, and then you're flowing out. This next one has got to be from the early 2000s, because I so remember this era. Luckily for me, in the early 2000s, I was in my like mid 30s, and I could actually wear something like this without looking ridiculous. I think I actually had something like this. Let's see what year it is. Because I didn't turn 43 until 2004. I'm not 43, 40 until 2004. So I spent a good portion of, the early 2000s being younger. God, simplicity. Can you make, I can't find it again. I know it's in here somewhere, right? I can probably look at it later. Here, let's take a picture of it and we'll look at it later. But I can't read it these are my readers, right? Oh, this is pretty. Oh, this is cut, but it's not my size. Let's see. This feels like only one portion was cut, but look how pretty. Very pretty. Really basic, just gathered waist. I know. I see the high-low hem also, but I'm going to let it pass because the other dresses are so pretty. Like, look at this. Isn't this a great summer dress? It's a shame because it's cut, but it's not my size. And I just don't want to size up because I'm closer to a 20 or a 22. I don't want to size up from a 16. I don't want to size up in general. I'd rather just buy a new pattern. And that was all of them. So I am debating whether I'm going to do a Sunday in Sibel tomorrow because we're doing this right now today, right? And I've already taken, over 20 minutes of your time. But here's my thought process. I'm going to head out to Goodwill. I'm going to see what they got, right? If I find something super cool, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, Sundays in Sibel. I originally had thought about doing a Sundays in Sibel and talking about like my year, my goals, and all that crap. But I got to be honest, not that much is going to change. The only big thing that I have like that I really want to work on myself, well, two things. I want to try and learn Spanish again because I did speak Spanish somewhat when I lived in Puerto Rico. And I got to figure out how to adjust my time better because right now the way I use my time for the shop doesn't work. I end up spending all my time on the shop. And before I know it, I have, dirty dishes in the sink and all that stuff. I need to start dedicating like X amount of time to my shop and then leaving it. And if it doesn't get done, it gets done the next day because I'm burning myself out with the shop too much. At this point in time, I have something like, I looked at it yesterday. I think I have 775, might be 776 patterns, or I have items on my shop. But it's actually more than that because I have listings that are multiple patterns within one listing. Speaking of, I'm going to work on it today, but I'm going to start a promotion that is if you buy 2 craft patterns, you get a 3rd craft pattern free based on price. So you'll get the cheapest one free because I am drowning in craft patterns. And honestly, even the vintage ones don't sell that great. And I yesterday was going through more patterns, more craft patterns, and found that I didn't even count them, but I have a stack like this of patterns and they're really thin. So this is a lot of just wall hanging quilts, baby quilts, lap quilts. I don't quilt. Nothing against anybody that's quilts. I've tried it. I've actually done it in the past. It's really labor intensive and I'm just lazy. I'd rather like take a couple of days. As I'm saying that, I'm laughing at myself, a couple of days and make a skirt. As I sit next to the skirt over here that I started, did I start it in August? I still haven't hemmed it. I mean, it's kind of done now, but I just need to hem it, right? So there you go. It's an entirely new year and there's a skirt sitting over there. But regardless of that, could you imagine what would happen if I did a quilt? Because yeah, they're so much more labor intensive. So we won't even go there, but I'm going to figure out how to do a code or something. So if you buy 2 craft patterns, you get the 3rd one free because I really need to get rid of them. When I put all the patterns that I counted and that were uncut and everything into the dresser I bought, which is in my haul. So I guess if I stub my toe enough, I'll start selling more patterns. But I used the old boxes that I had, the storage containers that I kept the patterns in for just uncut patterns. And I'm looking at them. There's 3 of them and they're completely full. And more than half of them are craft patterns. So, nothing against crafts. I don't think they sell the way they used to. I mean, I also have a ton of patterns for curtains. If you need a curtain pattern, contact me. I will make you a deal because I have so many curtain patterns because they get mingled in with the dress patterns and everything else. That's why I'm very happy about this, that not only is almost everything in here uncut. I think was it 2 or 3 we found that it was 3, the skirt, the dress, and the men's vest. The rest of these are all uncut. There's not a craft pattern in sight, and there's no children's patterns except for that men/child pattern, which, as we know, not my favorite patterns, the men's/children's/craft patterns. So until my next video, because I've now talked forever, so I'm going to try and end this before 25 minutes. Until my next video, which might be tomorrow, I hope everybody has a great new year. Stay safe, Stay well, stay warm, stay dry. And until my next video, comment, like, subscribe. If it looks like one person's here, so whoever that is, because you didn't identify yourself, and that's fine. Thank you for joining me. I know it was kind of I'm already over 25 minutes. I know it was a complete cock up on my part, but what can I say? Neighbors who are fireworks happy. So like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you made any of these. Let me know if, let's figure out what the date is on that one that I'm sure is from like 2003. And until the next video, let's all greet this new year with some hope and some, I don't know. I'm going to try not to be so trepidatious about this year, but I'm very sad that we lost Betty White. So RIP Betty White, Godspeed. I'll see you guys in the next video.